Balanchine has been criticized for causing dancers to become anorexic. He is. He's blamed for it. And it's been all over the internet. And it's very distressing to me to read that because, yes, he wanted us to be thin. He didn't care how we got there. He really didn't, he was not, there was no doctor watching us eat and telling us, well, you need to eat this or he didn't even say, go to a nutritionist. He just wanted us to suddenly be what he wanted. But once again, I'm saying it was a different time.
I am so angry. I am livid about this myth that Balanchine somehow imposed super thinness to the point of anorexia on the ballet world. Now, Balanchine made a mistake one day in an interview. It was filmed in Canada, in Montreal, when they were filming, because he said he likes to see bones. So that came out of his mouth. And he said he likes to see bones, he likes to see big feet, small heads. He made this kind of generalization, which has been taken as gospel. So and again, this is Balanchine's fault because it came out of his own mouth. Because somebody said, "What kind of dancers do you like?" And he goes, "I like tall, so you can see more if they're tall. And I like small heads. I like big feet, so you can see the big feet. And I like to see bones." Now, saying that started this thing. But if you actually look at the dancers in the company of who he hired over the years, over the whole arc of his career, not all of them were thin. Not all of them were tall. My God, Melissa Hayden, Allegra Kent, Patricia McBride, Violet Verdi were all very petite. I danced with all of them. They were very small, and they were some of his biggest stars. Marie Jean, who was the lead in Concerto Barocco and his original ballet Imperial, was very, very tiny. So was Maria Tallchief. Maria Tallchief was small, and she had a huge head. So it's not like when he was saying, "I only like small heads." That's not true. He would say things sometimes, like everybody does, that that was a kind of a off-the-cuff generalization. These myths get out there, and then these new books that came out. You can see I'm riled up now. Now I'm riled up because this new book came out called Mr. B. It's the Jennifer Holman's book. She had lots of things about his contemporaries, his influences, what he liked to read, but she never interviewed him. She never knew him. She was a dancer at the school and she saw him passing by, but she never worked. But she's interviewed all these people, and her book is not bad. I mean, her book is okay, but the headlines in so many newspapers, including in London and New York, about the book is all George Balanchine. You know, the, it's almost like the evil ballet master and how he misused women and how it was a cult and this whole big thing, making him out to be like a Spingali. Yes, he wanted the dancers to be physically in good shape. But this infuriates me because it gives this whole impression, this whole myth that Balanchine, forced the dancers to be thin, or he had relationships with all of his female dancers, or wanted to have relationships with them. That's not true. It's not true. Or that he ran the company like a little mini dictatorship or a cult. That's not true. And he's not here to defend himself. And he wouldn't. He would just ignore it. He would just be like, "Well, they'll say what they want to say. I don't care yet." That's what he'd do. But you know, I personally just get so angry about it because it gives this image of somebody that was not liked. He ran it like a family, but a caring father.
What was it like to see him basically have a muse?
Well, try not to make it any of your business. That was hard because it was there. You saw it. And he provided you watching him. So, it was part of this incredible environment he provided. You accepted it or get out of town.
He loved women emotionally, and he loved women as muses. And he would say, ballet as woman, he was like a Pygmalion in a way. He created these beautiful Galateas, and then once he created them, he wanted to marry them, and then they say no, and then he'd go on to the next one and create another one.
His love for women, that made him a dirty old man, that they didn't understand his wanting he just loved women with beautiful bodies. And I think that he wanted to possess that. And that was, it could be really looked upon as, gross in today's world. But because it was then, that's what people, I think, don't understand. I didn't look at him as someone who was, to be vilified. And yet he has been over the years. On the internet, some of the really cruel things that have been written about him, and I mean, they really make me angry.
Powerful men sometimes take advantage of being powerful men, right? And that's in every profession, every business. That's in the priesthood, it's in sports, it's in everything. But to lump it into ballet in general, or to say it's endemic to ballet, or to lump it into Balanchine being, this monster, this is nonsense. It's total BS. It's nonsense. Was he a saint? No, he wasn't a saint. He fell in love. He fell in love with some of the girls through his life. They were his muses. He fell in love. He wanted to marry them, and he married most of them. He wanted to marry them. He created great ballets for them. When they left him, or when Suzanne Farrell rejected him, he was not vindictive.
Balanchine was a human being, and he had frailties as well, as we all do. And I don't criticize people the way they live, unless they're not. I mean, if they start harming, if they start inhibiting, or they do things like that, sure, I'll have an opinion.